I think your cat would like you best if you did the wings, but I am horrible, and I want to go out and get like a hat.
What if I get one pair of wings and a hat? What kind of hat? I mean, the lion one's the cutest one for sure, but I think the fruit and vegetable ones are the funniest.
See, I was thinking that the fruit and vegetables were the cutest, actually.
Also, I love this black cat that they use in these example pictures.
I like Hello Kitty stuff, but I don't know the characters well enough.
Yeah, I don't really care that much about Hello Kitty.
So I'm leaning towards fruit and vegetables.
Okay.
And
vegetables are funnier than fruit.
Like, I think the banana hat's pretty funny.
The banana hat's funny.
And also the onion hat's pretty good.
The onion hat and the eggplant hat and the daikon hat.
I'm more for the onion hat.
Okay.
I mean, we can't pick, but
let's get
double wings.
I hope it's double wings. It might be angel wings.
I hope you get the purple ones.
I hope I get the red ones. They look good on Ronan.
Wrong way.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did get the purple ones.
Yes!
Alright, and the vegetable hat.
I hope you get the onion one.
I do too, actually. Or the eggplant.
And the eggplant's good too.
The eggplant, I'm like, oh, it won't squish his ears. It's better.
I mean, he's gonna hate you either way.
It's fine.
Onion.
I got the corn.
I mean, the corn's nice too. At least he gets to look really, really dumb while he's wearing it. That's the most important thing.
That cat looks really proud of itself.
Yeah, it does. Got little Star Wars dudes.
Oh, but they have more hats too.
Oh, snap. They have like purple fuzzy hat ears.
Yeah, but why do you put a cat in your hat on cat?
That's the point. Shinjuku's today, and we got out pretty late because we were up until like 3 last night, and we checked out Tokyu Hands. Maggie bought a whole lot of cat stuff. It was really obvious that she's a cat fan, and I just bought a few things, mostly stickers and small things that I wanted because it's my Tokyo trip. Usually back home in Nagoya I'm kind of hesitant to buy that sort of thing, and now I think we're going to head down and get some dinner because it's 5:37 or so right now. Okay, so that meal at Moana's kitchen, that was like a really bad idea. I almost got the eggs Benedict and that would have been so much better, but the pork, like the steak style pork that I ate was, well, we both ate it, Maggie had some too, was like really, really tough. I remember I was eating it and like I was gnawing on it as good as I could and swallowing, and finally one went and got stuck in my throat. I just push it down with some water and I'm good, assuming, that it would be good. But after that episode, I tried to continue eating and, drinking my water and my smoothie, but it came back up, like, immediately. And from then, I ran off to the bathroom, and then... That was Maggie's phone. She's over there writing in her journal.
I didn't realize I snoozed earlier.
And, so, like, for the next hour, there was, like, me trying to get stuff up out of my throat and then trying to eat because meat here in Japan's not cheap, and then I also paid, like, the extra 200 yen for the side dishes, and I got this really delicious smoothie, and I was so angry I couldn't eat it. Eventually, like, 2 hours passed. Like, I didn't realize how serious it was. It didn't feel like 2 hours. And, Maggie, it's Maggie's first trip here in Japan. She wandered off to the Disney store because I totally understood that waiting for me at the bathroom was not fun. But it finally got to this point where the Takashimaya, like, things start closing at 8. Starts ringing. Like, they don't shove all the customers out, but, like, a lot of the service things, like the like Maggie's here on a tourist visa, so she can get her tax, like what she paid in taxes returned. So she had to go there to get her tax money back. Like those sorts of services start closing. Like you can still shop, you can still finish your dinner if you're up in the restaurant area. No big deal. But I was just kind of like, it's been 2 hours? And at that point, I kind of texted dude because I started thinking, I need to go to a hospital then. I need to go somewhere. And I texted dude and asked him how much an ambulance was because, like, I kept coughing stuff up and I didn't want to, like, keep doing that all the way to the hospital. Usually I would drive, but even in this point, like in Gifu, I might have called an ambulance because driving while coughing stuff up would have been difficult. So I called an ambulance. Well, I didn't call an ambulance. I stepped out of the bathroom and there was a guy coming out of the employee door next to the restroom who worked for the salon near the restroom. And I just, like, very politely asked him if he could call an ambulance for me. And he did. He seemed very worried. And a guy in a suit that I think was one of the higher up people for the shopping, the department store came out and sat with me. And Maggie came up from the Disney store and tax place. And eventually the ambulance came and we went to the first hospital where they did an x-ray of my chest because at this point it was my chest that was hurting. But the x-ray didn't find anything wrong with my chest. So they wanted me to sit and try to drink stuff and see if I could cough up whatever was causing me problems. And I coughed up a pretty big piece of meat. And after that I could actually drink again. And so I seemed to be well and they, sent me on my way. And we got back here to the Airbnb. And on the way from the station here, we stopped at, what was it, Lawson or Family Mart? Anyway, a convenience store.
Mart.
It was Family Mart? Okay.
Because it was right outside the station.
Okay, yeah, that's the Family Mart. And I got some miso soup with mushrooms because I figured it's soup and mushrooms are, soft and slippery. So that would probably be a good first solid thing. But then all the symptoms came back. I started coughing up the mushrooms. I couldn't drink again. And I decided, like, maybe if I rest, like, whatever is in there will naturally go away. Because, like, even though I knew the ambulance was free and, like, Japanese people can call it whenever they damn well please, like, my American mentality just, like, no. And so finally, I fell asleep, and then I woke up at 4:30 still feeling awful. And I kind of crawled down the ladder and, like, woke Maggie up and told her I was calling an ambulance. And Monday was supposed to be when we went to Disneyland, and I was worried about the tickets because they're, 7,400 yen. But it turns out I can cancel those. There's a cancellation fee of, like, 200 yen. But that's, nothing compared to 7,400 yen. And I'll probably call them here in a little bit. And then we'll get new tickets at Family Mart or Lawson for, I think, tomorrow, Wednesday. And so the ambulance came here to the apartment, and we rode it to the hospital. I don't remember the names of all the hospitals off the top of my head. This one was a university hospital, though. And they were super nice. I was there well before opening hours, but the people that were there for either early or, are there all night for emergency situations took care of me. First, they did an endoscopy to check my throat because it felt like, my throat hurt like hell this morning. That's why I sound weird. Sorry, I'm kind of like frog-like right now. I'll probably be frog-like for the next video covering what we do today. So they did an endoscopy through my nose, which I was fully awake for. That was not fun. And my throat was clear. And I was like, oh, my throat's clear. Maybe it's all mental and I'm just scared, and that's why I keep coughing up the water. So I, decided to try sipping some water, and that came straight back up. So the doctor saw me, and we decided to do a CT scan to try to find something wrong with me. And the CT scan found the meat. They found the meat. I guess you can say the doctors could find the meat because of the CT scan. And it was all the way down at the bottom of my esophagus. And it was pretty big. And they were just like, we're going to have to do, like, a full-on endoscopy to either pull it out or push it down. They weren't sure at the time which one they were going to do. But they said it would take several hours to prepare for that. And so they hooked me up to an IV, first just in like the doctor's office area, and then they rolled me back to the back patient area, and they fetched Maggie back there, and I kept insisting that Maggie go do something more fun than sitting around in a hospital, but she didn't want to wander off. And I think, so we arrived there at like 5. I think I called the ambulance at 4:30 and probably arrived at around 5-ish. And it wasn't until almost noon that they started the procedure, which went smoothly. They gave me enough anesthetic to make me sleep, because I think in Japan usually they don't want anesthetic so much. But when they were asking me about drugs, I was just like, if the anesthesiologist okays it, then yes, I definitely want to be asleep. And so yeah, they drugged me good. I think they started before I was fully unconscious, because I have some memory of being like, oh shit, as they were shoving a tube into me. And then I think they woke me up at some point to show me a piece of meat that probably came up with the tube, which was pretty big. They were like, look, we finished the meat! And I have like very vague memory of that. And then they rolled me back to my normal place. I actually don't remember being moved. Was I awake when they moved me?
You were out.
I don't remember being moved. I like have vague memories, like a memory of feeling like I was being moved, but I don't really remember it.
When they brought me back, you were dead to the world.
So yeah, they called Maggie. I gave her my phone because her SIM card is just for data and stuff.
They didn't actually have to call me. I was in the waiting room at that point. The nurse just came out and got me.
Okay. And when I woke up, Maggie was there, and apparently, while I was drugged, there were a couple of times when I woke up and tried to talk to her in Japanese. Probably because I'm married to a Japanese man, and I'm used to waking up and immediately having to speak Japanese. And then we were in the hospital for a pretty long time afterwards. You remember what time we left the hospital at?
It was a little after 5, I think.
Okay.
Because we got back here around 6.
Okay. Yeah, we just took a taxi back here because I didn't care if it was expensive. I just did not have the energy to first ride the trains and then possibly have to stand up throughout the train rides. It was about $30. Maggie was nice enough to pay for that.
$30 to me is really cheap cab ride.
Okay.
I mean, I never take taxis, but in America, taxis are really expensive.
Yeah, right?
You have to pay a tip on top of it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, in Japan you don't have to pay tips for much of anything. And then we got back here, and I think I did some stuff, but I passed out pretty quickly. Maggie said I passed out pretty quickly when I laid down.
You didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything at all.
No. You were like...
Oh yeah, I did go to sleep in my clothes, didn't I, originally?
Like, I'm just gonna sleep in my dress. It's basically pajamas. That's the last thing you said.
And yeah, and I think I woke up later and Maggie was still awake, and that's when I finally changed to my pajamas. And yeah, that trip to the Moana's kitchen was a bad mistake on my part. I mean, it was really good. I'm not trying to bash them, but maybe they should use some softer pork. Maybe. Please. Because I was doing my best to chew that pretty good. And
I ate the same thing and it was delicious.
But even, like, you couldn't eat everything, right?
I would have if that hadn't happened to you, though.
It was really gristly.
I was scared of it at that point. But I also cut it into tiny pieces after your second trip to the bathroom, I was like...
But yeah, that was my fun trip to the hospital. I don't want to do it again anytime soon. But I am now totally over my American fear of calling the ambulance. And my first trip to the hospital only cost me like $25, 2,500 yen or so. And the second one was a bit more expensive because I had anesthesia. They had me in there for hours. But that only cost like $300, about sanman sansen, so like $340. Next video, we're going on a cat tour.
And Akihabara.
Yes, in Akihabara and Asakusa. So we should have a lot more fun today. As usual, if you like my videos, please, give me a thumbs up. And Subscribe, please. That would be really cool of you. And if you feel really sorry for me, you can join my Patreon or give me a coffee for donations. That would be really nice. I just paid $300 for doctors to shove meat into my stomach for me.